Hello everyone, Mr. J here. A couple weeks ago, my friend and fellow content creator Insigneos invited me to a Magic the Gathering pre-release for Avatar The Last Airbender. I normally don't play a lot of Magic the Gathering, but since this was Avatar The Last Airbender and Insigneos knows that I love it, I took him up on the offer and we had a fun Saturday. Plus, I got to buy this set and I got some cards from the tourney. Plus, I kept a few of the boxes from the pre-release, and they all have these neat quotes from them from the series. You got one from Aang, one from Zuko, one from Toph, one from Katara, and one from Azula. Pretty sweet souvenir if you ask me. The weekend went really well, and I had a lot of fun in the first tourney. And I don't have an analogy for this, in the first tourney, I ate shit, and Insigneos can attest to that. Isn't that right, Insigneos?
What? Right. Yeah, no, that first event was a total wash. I tried to play mono red and I didn't quite get there, and you really didn't have a lot of any color really, so we tried to build Mr. J this 3-color deck that just did not work, and that's why we ended up fighting in round 4 for last place. But after a quick trip to Wawa, we were able to crush the Two-Headed Giant event. It's where we play as a team against other teams of 2, and you were playing Mr. J was playing a bunch of creatures, and I was playing Blue-White Control to absolutely prevent our opponents from doing anything. But if you, dear viewer, missed the pre-release and you're still looking to get into the Avatar Magic set, I highly recommend getting some Avatar Jumpstart packs. Each pack has 20 cards, and all you need to do is shuffle 2 of them together to make a 40-card deck that's ready to play against someone with their own 2 packs and 40-card deck. Then after a couple games of that, you can separate the decks back into their base 2 packs and swap them around for even more deck combinations, so you can get so much more out of them. And the ones you like the most, you can save for if you get some more Jumpstart packs, not necessarily from Avatar. Pro tip, when you do get cards, sort them. Whether it's by color or by alphabetical, you're going to want to sort them, because otherwise you're going to be like me and you're trying to find that one card that you're pretty sure you opened up in a booster pack 5 years ago, and it has to be here somewhere. But main point, I can't recommend pre-release events enough. It's a low-stakes environment, it's a nice way to meet new people, there will always be someone there to help you understand the rules, and nobody there will have any experience with any of the brand new cards, which means that everyone there will suck equally. Because of that, it's totally valid that we tied for last place at the event, despite how many years I've been playing this game. Yeah, we had so much fun.
Yeah, we played the pre-release, which is really good for new players to go, but since it's over, try Jumpstart. Grab a few packs, get your friends together, have fun, and buy more cards. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the Two-Headed Giant tourney. The Two-Headed Giant tourney. Mind you, we didn't win, but we had a whole lot of fun. I was trying to use Beastmaster Ascension because Insigneos and I agreed that it would both be for the funny. Plus, I love the grainy look of this card. And from the footage and snippets you see here, it was a fun and relaxed afternoon. And that's all I could have really asked for. Moving on to the cards that I had gotten from the pre-release, I did get a couple of the Panorama cards from the 6-card Crossroads of Destiny Panorama, which they are very nice. And if I haven't, I'll say it again. Thank you, Insigneos. Plus, as I move on to looking at the other cards, something you'll notice if you look at the set in full is that some of the cards are going to have fully redone imaginings of certain scenes, and other times the cards are going to look like the intern had to work in MS Paint and just grab a clip and blow it up so that way it fits on the card, and then it's there and done. I feel bad for the guys who were doing this because they could have just taken some scenes from the series and put them in a bordered card and been done with it, but oh well, it happens. And with the way the cards were done mechanically wise, well, I have to say this does feel like it's its own separate card game. Which there is an Avatar The Last Airbender card game, but I'm not going to talk about that. Getting back on topic, the bending mechanics introduced here are very simple. Airbending lets you exile a non-land permanent, and while it's exiled, you can cast it for 2 rather than its mana cost to bring it back. Waterbending lets you essentially tap creatures and artifacts so it pays for the helps pay for the cost. Earthbending takes a land you control and it turns it into a creature that can be tapped for mana, and if it is destroyed or exiled, it turns back into a land on your side of the field tapped. And Firebending generates mana when your monsters attack, which in turn can be used to cast instant spells or instant spells with a kicker cost, which is incredibly useful if you know what you're doing with them. Looking at a few more of the cards that I had gotten, I got Toph, Hard-Headed Teacher, as my promo. I got Ronan Shah. I got Rise of Sozin, who turns into Firelord Sozin, and a couple more Saga cards. Plus, also, I love Zuko's Exile, but at the same time, it just looks like the man meme. Like, it's a somber moment, but at the same time, look at this. It's just funny for some reason. And here's some full card arts of Appa photo bombing major locations that Team Avatar visited, as well as some very nice bordered in scenes from the show that were reimagined by the artists who drew them, and they are very nice and very beautiful to look at, I may say. But now, to the grand unveiling. As I open it, you can see from the display easel as I turn it around, it has the full scene from Tea Time at the Jasmine Dragon on the back. And then on the front, there's the placeholders where I can put the cards, which is really nice. And we got Mai and Zuko, Aang and Katara, Toph, Greatest Earthbender, Sokka and Suki, Momo's Heist, and Uncle's Musings, which is a really nice 6-card set. I love it. And an interesting little tidbit is, while we were at the pre-release, Insigneos traded me the Firelord Sozin Saga card for the Badger Mole Cub card that I pulled, which was for something he said was called Modern. Hey Insigneos, what's Modern?
Wait, okay. I know it looks like I gave him a really bad trade, but it's much more nuanced than that. I simply wanted this card, and I reminded him that I was his ride home. But as for your question, Modern is one of Magic's many formats and one of my personal favorites. The formats of Magic are essentially just which cards or sets or booster packs are legal within this structure tournament event. Standard is basically only the past 3 years of expansion sets are allowed, and once a set gets too old it leaves. In Pioneer, all the sets released since 2013 are legal and none of them get kicked out. Modern is like Pioneer, but it's all the sets released since 2003. And then there's Pauper, where only cards that are printed at Common are legal. And then there's Legacy, where nearly every card is legal. And then there's Vintage, where almost nearly every card is legal. And then there's Commander, where you play the game completely differently with a little guy and it's singleton, and it's been slowly ruining the game for the past 10 years. And then there's Pre-Modern, which is all the cards printed before 2003. And then there's Draft, where you open up packs and you choose a card, pass around. And there's Chaos Draft, where you use packs that each pack needs to be from a different expansion. And then there's Cube Draft, where you build the packs yourself. And then there's Brawl, which is a standard Commander and nobody likes Brawl. And then there's Seal, which is your game packs, and you have to turn them into a deck. And then there's Wisdom Draft, where you put the packs and you there. And there's Pack Wars.
Well, the more you know. Anywho, since I have a couple of minutes left, I do want to talk about the color coordination of the cards. Now, you'd think since Azula's a firebender, she'd be a red card, right? Well, no, she's a black card, to signify her dark-hearted and cruel nature. Then she becomes a black-blue card, to signify that she still has that dark-hearted nature, but she is more sly and cunning of a person. And then the black, blue, and red is to signify that Azula's finally lost her marbles. And for Zuko's character cards, it signifies his journey of change. Ooh, look, an airbending lesson. Zuko. So he starts out as a fully red card to signify that he is a very rage-filled and angry person. His next card, aptly titled Zuko Conflicted, is red-black, signifying that Zuko is dealing with the inner turmoil and darkness in his heart. And Zuko's final card is red, white, black, to show that he has now come to terms with the darkness and the light in his heart, and he's achieved balance. And Aang's cards both show his growth as the Avatar learning all 4 elements, and also for his growth as a character. Aang throughout his journey is a kind and good-hearted person, but each element teaches him another lesson. With water, he learns to be swift but calm. Earthbending teaches him to be resolute and proud. And firebending teaches him to be respectful and responsible. It is then when Aang truly holds up his role as Avatar. And speaking of avatars, I got Avatar Karuk as one of my pulls. Yo! Insigneos, look at this pull.
I'm just looking for that one card. Do I even have any more cards to go through? What's that up there? Oh!
Okay, eyes peeled on Insigneos, but man, this is a nice haul. I would have really liked to have gotten Sokka's Haiku because it's a counterspell card in the form of a haiku. I love it. But I got Eloquentia, which honestly balances that out. I would have also liked to have gotten one of the panorama cards for the 9-card panorama, but hey, that's what getting cards online is for. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Other than that, though, I'm really happy with what I got. Because sure, yeah, the cards have subjective value, their existence will be finite and temporary, but the experiences I got to have a couple weeks ago with my friend Insigneos, those are priceless. And with that, I think I should check up on Insigneos because he wasn't doing too hot the last time I saw him. You alright, Insigneos? Oh, snap. Okay, you guys have fun. Ooh, also, everyone mark your calendars, October 9th, 2026. The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender is coming out then. Other than that, though, I gotta get the trowel and dig Insigneos out. Bye!